TikTok, I do not want to work in corporate America anymore. Like, I just want to go get a little retail job that I don't care about and just have enough money to pay the bills and do what I want. Like, I don't need to climb the ladder. Like, working in corporate is not it. I've worked for 4 different major banks in different departments, and I just don't like it. Like, when I worked at Capital One, I liked the people, but I didn't like the work. Like, people think we're always taught, go to college, you get a job in your field, get a good corporate job with benefits, good pay, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But the stress, like waking up and dreading going to work, but you feel like you have to because it's a good job, it's a good pay. Like, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I had less stress working front desk at the Courtyard Marriott, okay? Getting cussed out by people. It was less stress. Like, working in corporate America is just a bunch of people who think that they're dookie don't stank, and it's just like high school, and they want you to care so much about the job. Like, I just don't want to work in corporate America anymore. And it's just like, it's like, I feel like you're looked down upon. Like, if I were to leave this type of job and like go work, a job that's not, this, advanced, it would be like, people will look at me like, you have a college degree and that's what you're going to do with it? That's beneath you. Like, I don't know. But I don't know, but I do know that this ain't going to work. And I'm tired of going to work and not liking it.
Okay guys, so she said she wants to go back to retail, which I don't think is a bad thing. Retail can either be blue collar or white collar, depending on where you fall. If you're management in retail, that means you're white collar. If you're supervisor, you're white collar. If you work at the cashier or you work on the floor, then you're considered to be blue collar. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to work retail. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to work blue collar. We've all been brainwashed a bit. I wouldn't say brainwashed. We've all been nudged and pushed to go into these white collar positions because they quote unquote look better and they're quote unquote more prestigious. But in reality, a lot of blue collar workers make really good money and they have less stress. Some of them, not all of them. Some blue collar work can be very difficult on your body. So there's no perfect answer to the situation. But if she's not feeling her job, she should probably leave and go look elsewhere to see something that she likes more. She said she's worked 4 different finance jobs. So maybe finance just isn't the place for her. Let me know in the comment section what you think. How do you feel about corporate America? Do you want to stay? Do you want to get out? Do you feel trapped? Let me know.
Americans complain a lot. That's what I used to think before I came to the US. I used to think like, oh, these Americans complain a lot. Like, they always say mental health. Like, what's this mental health that they speak of? Until I came to America and started working. Oh, I've been asking for some mental health days off. Like, I need some mental health time off. Like, they were not lying. They were not lying.
Okay guys, so he brings up a really good point that I see happen a lot in corporate America. I'm personally in corporate America right now, and I do see this happen very often where people need mental health days and people are just super stressed out with the work that they're doing.
Why is it that corporate America can treat their employees, treat their employees like crap? And I'm talking your boss treating you like an emotional punching bag, your department being super toxic in terms of culture and the way that they function and operate, not giving you an opportunity to actually say no, I'm good, I don't have the bandwidth, and just like really stampeding over your boundaries. I myself ended up leaving corporate America in 2023 because I had a mental breakdown. And I'm not talking like I cried for, a couple days and whatever. It took me nearly a year to recoup and recover from that, and a lot of my savings. Now I'm in a freelancing position where I'm kind of just creating my own thing. But I have so many friends that are in corporate America that are dealing with such similar situations that I went through. My question is, why are we supposed to just deal with this? Why is this supposed to be accepted and pretending like this is normal? It's not normal, and it shouldn't be normal. You can't even take time to work on your mental health because of the drama and toxicity that's going on with work, the guilt trip that they shove on you for trying to take a work from home day or a mental health day. Just taking a day off or a couple days off to get yourself feeling better, because the place that you have to go every single day is making you absolutely miserable. On top of that, you're supposed to go find a new job, get yourself in therapy, figure out how to fix all of this when you can't just necessarily jump ship and quit your job tomorrow. And you're very lucky if you are someone who is able to find open positions, interview quickly, and get an offer. Because geez, that in itself is hard enough. So it is so crazy that, you know, you could be in a job that you are perfectly qualified for and that you're doing a good job at, but because of the environment of your workplace, you're either supposed to deal with it or, I don't know. This is not everyone's experience. But unfortunately, I'm learning that this is majority. And I just don't understand why we're supposed to accept it.
Okay guys, it sounds to me as though she was working in a very toxic work environment, and it's not necessarily corporate America in and of itself that is the problem, but more so the actual culture and coworkers that she had at her job, which caused her to have to take a year hiatus from work to get her mental health together. We also don't know exactly what she was doing or her prior history and whether or not it's something she should have handled and went into in the first place. Overall, her message does stand because, as you see, there are multiple people that are complaining about the same thing. So I'm not brushing it off and saying that it's not true or that she's making this all up or it's all in her head. There are definitely some very toxic work environments. I've had jobs I worked at in the past. They weren't corporate, but I did have nightmares about them. Literally had nightmares. These jobs were more so in the retail space than they were in the corporate space. Nonetheless, I can still empathize with where she's coming from.
Is anyone else experiencing this kind of like disconnect and just general disinterest in the job search? I just feel like I don't care anymore, and it's so bad. Like, because I graduated in 2023, so I did work a little bit in my field. I did have a job in accounting for a little bit. Well, right now I'm still waiting tables. My parents are just really getting on me because they're like, Olivia, you need to act like you're unemployed. Like, you're getting comfortable with your job. And it's like, no, I'm not getting comfortable. Like, in fact, I want to get out of serving. Like, it's great for what it is, but, you know, it's ultimately not what I want to do. And I do want to get out. But this other life, this like 9-to-5 life, doesn't seem very attractive to me anymore. And I just feel really disillusioned with the whole corporate life because, you know, for all the shit that you guys go through, at the very least, you could have job security, but you don't. Like, I'm really realizing that there's no such thing as job security. People used to tell me, oh, get a government job. Y'all see what's happening with the federal jobs? Like, their whole department's being laid off. Out of nowhere, no notice, no nothing. You would think that with everything that y'all go through and how much time and energy you pour into these jobs that they would treat you better, and they don't. I have to move back in with my parents, so it's just something I'm thinking about because I know they're going to be on my ass about the job search and things like that. And it's not even that I'm lazy, it's just that I don't want to fight for something I don't actually want. It just doesn't seem worth it. Not only do we not have the same level of job security that our parents and our grandparents had, but we also can't afford anything. Even if we do have these jobs, even if we do have this job security, a lot of people can't even afford to pay their rent. At least back then, you guys could pay your rent. You know, you could pay your rent, you can buy your car, you could buy houses, you could afford to eat, you could afford to have fun. We don't have that same reality. The way prices have gone up in comparison to the way wages and salaries have stayed stagnant is insane, and nobody's talking about it. We don't have the same reality that our parents and grandparents did, and they don't want to acknowledge that. What we're fighting for is not the same thing that you guys were experiencing. So it's like, I'm fighting so hard to get some 9-to-5 that's going to pay me barely enough to rent a room in a house and live in fear every day of being laid off on a random Tuesday. And then in the midst of that, I don't even know if I can put food on the table, or if I can put food on the table, I don't know if I can put gas in my car. And if I can put gas in my car, I don't know if I can have fun because I need to put food on the table and gas in my car. Our money is not going as far as it used to go. And I feel like we're getting gaslit about that. Like, home prices, tuition prices, like the way everything has gone up and they're paying us the same amount of money is insane. So excuse me if I have no interest in fighting for my life in corporate America. I'm sorry.
I feel her overall point. about working your ass off in corporate America only to be able not to afford to live, to be able to buy a home, to be able to even sniff retirement, to be able to afford fun, as she said. So it can be definitely disheartening to wake up early, go to work 8 hours per day or plus, commute back and forth, come back, go to sleep and do it all over again for an outcome that seems so far away and may never happen, which is retirement. Not to mention not being able to afford the basic little things in life that make you happy. And actually, this leads nicely into the next video, which is about a person talking about how in America, it's different than where he is from.
So it's not just necessarily corporate America that I feel like I never fully understand. I think it's a lot of things that I don't understand and I'm still trying to understand. And honestly, I don't know if I'll ever understand. Do you get what I'm saying? So like when I was saying that, you know, when I moved to America, like I just didn't know how, you know, things work here. And a lot of people in the comments are saying like, well, we tried to tell you, so why did you move here, blah blah blah. Guys, I was 18, like, what, you know what I'm saying, I was 18, I was curious, I was like, okay, let me, you know, go across the world and just see what's outside there, and, you know, let me have my own experience. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I'm getting confused that like all these comments and how people are like, you know, coming at me in the comments, some of them, and then the work-life balance, it really doesn't make sense. Like when I was growing up in my country, I saw my uncles, aunties, like they would have a job. All they needed was one job. In America, like one job, 2 jobs is not enough. Like, so I'm thinking like 2 jobs is not enough. Okay, so then how many jobs do you need? And then when do you rest? So basically you only rest when you die. And then the retirement is crazy because, guys, the place that I work at, there are people that are 72, 80, even 80, 82 years old, and they're still working. So I'm thinking, okay, so I'm 27 years old. Does that mean I'll be working my whole life? Like, all of these things I'm trying to process at one go. Like, I'm like, okay, am I the problem? Like, do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, at this point, I'm just confused. I'm confused, and I was making that video, I'm like, bro. And then your mental health is in shambles. You can't even take, like, you taking a break basically means you become homeless. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't take a long break from work because now you need, these bills are waiting for you. These bills, and then, like, there's things like, okay, let's say you actually have a good job and earn money. You have to pay loads in taxes. I don't think, you know what I'm saying, I didn't see that where I was from. Like, you know, yes, you pay taxes, but it's not a lot. And then even if you do pay taxes, you have a house, you still have to pay, like, the house is never yours. Like in America, nothing is ever fully yours. Like, okay, I own this house, it's mine. You still have to pay some type of tax for that land. And if you don't pay that, you might get in trouble. These things that I'm trying to understand this country, you guys, I'm learning. And it's like, I don't know if I'm going around in circles. I don't know if I'm doing anything. I don't know if I'm not doing anything. Like, Lord, save me and save everyone in this country at this point.
Okay, so one of my friends recently told me a very good quote that I'm going to let you guys know. He said, America is a great place to work. What he meant is that it's literally a great place to come and work, but not necessarily a great place to come and have work-life balance or to live. Now, personally, I love America. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I think it's a great country. I know there's some problems, but every country has its problems. My parents are foreigners and they came to the US in the 80s and they've been working nonstop since they got here, which is unfortunate. However, I also have cousins that live back home in another country and they struggle to find work and to be able to find food at times. Obviously, that's not the same case for everyone, and depending on the country you're from, it might be different, might be better, might be worse. And even me, I know people that are from the country my parents are from who live amazing lives, have good jobs, and they have good work-life balance. So it's all about pros and cons. But in the US, overall, it's better than not, I would say. But he does make good points about the idea of retirement seems like it's a joke, and about how it's super hard to find work-life balance in the US. He is not wrong about that. But with that, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Are you over corporate America? Do you love corporate America? Are you looking to do something else? Are you just fed up and tired of it? Let me know. And with that, feel free to like and subscribe. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.